Good afternoon. How's everybody doing today? Give y'all a little closer. Try to get that glare off my glasses. It's gonna happen. Hey, Louise. Hey, Karen. Well, welcome to Facebook Live Sunday at the Beehive. Hope you all are doing great. I hope you have had a great weekend. I have. I worked yesterday and today had lunch with my niece and got to film my grandnephew kick in her belly. That was so fun. Yeah, and just had a great day. It was really fun. Some sewing and some really, it was a good day. I enjoy that. So I hope you all are doing great. And today we're going to learn some more about fills. I had a question about a specific way to do something. So I wanted to show you guys that. So I'm going to show you two different things. Also, last week we did the holiday font. I call it pillow, but y'all turned it into everything else under the sun, which was amazing. I told you guys that we would do a giveaway, and we'll do two giveaways during this broadcast. If you went in and designed something and stitched it out, and then you had to post it. So I've got everybody's name in a little box thingy, and we'll do a drawing for those two prizes that I told you about. They were both graciously donated by my very dear friend Hope Yoder, and so we'll do that after we do the fill lesson. So it's gonna be a lot of fun today. So again, if you're just signing on, welcome on. Give me some hearts or some likes if you're here, just so I can see how many of you are here. And so let's see. Anything else that I need to tell you guys? Guess not. Ooh, there's the hearts and likes. Ooh, that's kind of fun. It's like, I don't know if y'all can see them. They go. If you're new to the group, a very warm welcome. This group is made for you, and I like to share my love of knowledge on the Baby Lock machines. However, some of the knowledge, if you don't own a Baby Lock, it's okay. Some of the knowledge you can really take, because I add tidbits and little information that I've learned over the years for different things. So we hope you stick around and listen and watch. It's a lot of fun. We are using IQ Designer today, guys. Also, if you have a brother that has my design center, this will totally work for you. Some of the icons may look a little different, but it's the general thing, same general thing. For the first technique that I'm going to show, I'm going to be doing it on my Meridian. For the second technique, I'm going to take you over to the Solaris. So if you have one of those machines, if you have the Meridian, the Altair, Solaris, Solaris 2, Destiny 2, you can do all these techniques. So, okay, so let's get started. Earlier this week, my friend Diane asked a question. She said, hey, I have some pre-made embroidered quilt blocks, and there's just a couple designs on it. What if I wanted to take that design box and, design block, and put quilting around it using IQ Designer? How would I do that? Well, I explained it to her, but I didn't show it, but I'm going to show that today. And let me see something here, Judy. So when I added this stopping, it sent to 9:14. Judy, I'm not quite sure of your question. When you added the stopping, it sent to 9.5 and 14. How to get it to stop? I don't know if I really understand your question and what project it's regarding. So maybe just message me some more detail, and we can I'll help you out with that. So hey Ronnie, okay. So how do I take an already embroidered something, a block, or a tea towel or something, and let's just say you wanted to add quilting to it. How do I do that without stitching over the previous design? Well, with IQ Designer, you can go in there and scan in your image. And then I'm going to show you how to put the quilting on top, but take away the quilting that would be laying directly on top of your design. Now, what does that mean? I have something that I did a while ago, and I still haven't finished. I've got to make it into a pillow. But we had Baby Lock Tech earlier this year, and they send us t-shirts. And the t-shirt they sent me was a little too big, so I said, well, what can I do with this? Well, I'm going to turn it into a little pillow. And what I did, and this is a t-shirt, so this is the same premise. So what I did right here, so maybe I'm not sure if it's backwards for you guys, it definitely is for me. So this is a printed t-shirt. So what I did was scan this in and then quilted everything but the words. Now, how do I do that? How do I make that happen? It's actually fairly simple. So last night I went ahead and stitched out a design so I could mock up what Diane was asking. And this design is from the Solaris. So I did this pretty mandala design. Okay, some pretty variegated Floriani thread. So I stitched it out. And what I want to do now is put quilting around it. Now, of course, at the time, I could have put that quilting in there, but let's say I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do with this, and I took it out of the hoop and da-da-da-da-da, or someone gave me some blocks or something like that. But all I did was stitch it out. Now what I decided is maybe I'll turn this into a trivet of some sort. So I want the quilting around it, and I want it to look like a, regular quilting, so I have some batting. What you want to do is hoop it with whatever you're going to hoop it with. So all I did was take my fabric and use a little bit of spray adhesive and adhere it to a piece of batting. I don't have any stabilizer or anything. I'm just going to do it that way. And yes, you can do it that way. And these could be your quilt blocks that you eventually put together or whatever. And I don't have any extra stabilization because the quilting is not going to be that heavy. So if it was going to be super dense and all that, you may want a piece of probably a no-show mesh on the back. When I do quilting, I do not like to do a tearaway. And the reason is that I would have to go in and remove all that tearaway. Now think about quilting. You could have a really intricate design, and that means you're going in there and yanking out pieces of tearaway, and that can cause stress to those stitches, and they're all close together. So I'd rather it just be something soft like a no-show mesh, and that way it can stay in the quilt and be just fine. I promise. It's just beautiful. I've done many quilts that way. So the first thing I have to do though is scan this image into my machine. Now, if we were on the Solaris or the Destiny or the Solaris 2, then we would use our scanning feature. And I'll kind of show you how to do that on the Solaris when we get over there. But if we have the Meridian or the Altair or the comparable brother machine, you're going to use your app, your IQ Intuition app. So let's come on over to the table and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so if you get dizzy, this is where you close your eyes, and then I will tell you when to reopen them. There we go. Okay. All right. I swear I can never get my room clean enough to put on camera. Okay, so I have the my fabric and whatever I want underneath here, which happens to be some batting. And I am making sure that the little sensors are not covered up. It's just regular hooped. And I'm going to grab whatever I'm going to use for my app. It can be my iPhone, it could be your Android phone, it could be your tablet, it could be an iPad. I just use Apple products, so I'm going to use my iPad here. Get everything off the screen. There we go. And then I'm going to find my iCue positioning app. So it's the black one, so I'm going to tap that. And this one may ask me, let me get that light off so we don't get any glare. Okay, so I want to make sure that it's, it's connected to Mabel, so we're good to go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I am going to go under the iCue Designer tab here, right here, and I'm going to say Photo Frame for Creating Design. So if I tap that, then I can hold it up above it. But I always have to use my stool. So it's gonna tell me, hey, hold this up above. And it's gonna tell me to hold really still. And I'm actually, 1 second, because I'm being really, it's hard when you're up above and away from, there we go, I think I got it. There we go. So there's my image right there. And I'm just going to say send to the machine. Now, Diane, you're going to do yours a little different, and then I can, then I'll show you over there. Of course, Jeanette, you can do whatever you want. Absolutely, you can put it on the floor. Okay, so it's also going to say sent to iCue Designer, and I can just push OK. Now I'm going to move you back to the machine, so I'm going to swing you around a little bit. Don't say what. What did I say, Darlene? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to, y'all know how this goes. And I'm going to bring you down just a hair. Get you set up. Yeah, the reason why I don't put it on the floor is just for filming reasons. But because I never want to show you what my floor looks like. Because it really needs to be vacuumed. And if my mom's watching, she may get on to me. Because even though I'm in my 40s, I would still let my mom whip my tail. So, okay. So, you're welcome, Donna. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to select iCue Designer, because that is where the image was sent to. And then what I need to do is find that image. So in general, with the Meridian and Altair's, you're going to find those images up here. Now I could come in here to line design and turn that design that's already stitched out into an embroidery if I want to. But I'm going to go to illustration design, and then I'm going to go to my Wi-Fi. And it's going to come up with this. So what it's going to say is, or what it's going to do is give you a list of everything that you've sent over. It's always going to be the top one. And there's my image right there. And I'm going to hit set. And then I'm just going to say OK. And there we go. Ooh, you know what I did, guys? I do what I always do. I mess up in front of you. But that's okay. What it's going to do right now is turn this into embroidery. This is how you would turn something into embroidery. But I'm going to push cancel. Okay, well, no, I guess I got to let it do its thing. You know I have to mess up at least once or twice. But what it's doing is it's trying to digitize everything on the screen. And that's not what I want. I didn't notice when I came down here what it was telling me, and I'm like, oh, great, okay. That's what it would look like if I wanted to stitch that out. I do not. Let's go to cancel. Let's go to return. So what did I do? There it is, right there. It's this guy right here. See, I always want to select illustration and design. I have no idea. Okay, so I'm going to go to the flower. Excuse me, it's a leaf. That's a leaf. I'm going to go to the leaf and then select that Wi-Fi. And then select the top one. There we go. So I'm going to hit set. And now it's on my screen. That's what I wanted to do. And I'm just going to darken it up a little bit. And you have these little thingy-mabobs down here. And this is your lightening and your darkening. Now, right now, this is just a picture. I am not going to turn any of this into stitching. What I want to do is build stitching around this design. So I can darken it up just so I can see really well where my design is and what's going to be quilted. And I am using the 9.5 by 9.5 inch hoop. So I'm just going to let it stitch all that way over, the whole 9.5. I don't have to tell it any other size just because I'm using what I want. This was made in a 5x7 hoop. I could put a 5x7 hoop in there and just have it quilt the 5x7 or whatever, really. Okay, so what I want to do now is build some sort of quilting on the background like I did with this. Now I just used a stipple on this one, but I want to add a fancy design to this since this is a really beautiful design. So remember, when we're an IQ designer, we have a grouping of 4 or 5 icons, depending on what machine you're on. You have 2 groupings. So this top grouping right here is your line properties. This bottom grouping right here, these are your fill properties. So this is where I can take and add quilting. So I'm going to go to my little piece of paper, and this is where I can select the stipple, or I can come in here and go to my fun fills. So I'm going to tap that, and you'll see this pop up, and now I'm going to hit select. I'm going to select. And now what I want to do is find a fill background for my pretty mandala. So what do I think? I kind of really like this one right here. It might be a little too busy, but let's just do something basic. Let's just do some crisscrosses. We'll just do crisscrosses. So I'm going to select OK. And I can select a color if I want. It really doesn't matter because you can put whatever color you want on your machine and stitch it out. So I'm going to just select OK. And now what I have to do in that second grouping is I need to select the bucket. And then I'm going to tap directly onto the screen. There we go. What I want you to notice is, ooh, look how it's going outside. It's going to tell me to go to a larger hoop. So let me show you how to fix that. So since I tapped on the outside and I had no boundary lines, what it's going to do is try to stitch in a 9.5 by 14 hoop. I'm not using that. So let's fix that. So the first thing I'm going to do is back up. And then I will go to this little key right here. This is your shapes key. And then I'm going to come up here to the frame icon. I'm going to select frame, and then I'll tell it that I'm using the 9.5 by 9.5 inch hoop. And then I'm going to select OK. And what you probably can't see very well is there's a little red box around this whole area. Well, what I want to do is make sure next that my fill bucket is on, and I'm going to tap. That's much better. But let's see if I can get you in a little closer. Let's go down a little bit and inwards a little. Can you see? And maybe I should change the color. Let's change the color to a dark color. So that way, let's just do black so we can see it really well. There we go. So can you see the crisscrosses going across my design? I wouldn't want that. My design's already stitched out. I want that to be all free of the stitching. So this is how I'm going to do it. Okay, so let me get to a couple questions here first. Darlene says, I've done what you did and I went to photo frame for creating, and this is what it said. Photo frame cannot be used for the machines without a built-in camera. Please use your built-in camera. Are you, Darlene, are you on a Solaris? Rose says, Yes, Rose, you can use the hoop size because you can always cut it back down. Let's say you needed an 8x8, but you just went ahead and stitched it out the whole hoop size. That way, that gives you some room to cut it and make sure it's straight and all that. That's generally what I do, is do it a little bit bigger. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is lighten the background up. And can you see that this is getting darker? But see my design right here? I want to get rid of everything that is touching my design. So, let me pull my chair up. Oh, excuse me. Okay, let me do that again. Let's pull my chair. I need to be sitting down for this process. I'm going to grab my fancy pen because I love my fancy pen. Okay, what I want to do now is basically erase all these stitches that are laying directly on top of my design. So I'm going to go to my eraser, and you can select what size, which ones you like. I like the medium square, and I'm just going to start from the center out. And look what's happening. I am erasing everything that I'm erasing that stitching that I do not want. So it's almost like coloring. And I can follow the shape of the design. Now, of course, I'm going to, why don't I just do that? I'll just do a big old, and you'll want to get in there really good. And now what I'm going to do is zoom in and maybe make my eraser a little bigger. So that way I can, look how much better that is. Oh, yeah. That makes me happy. And I'm going to come in here and just get rid of all that area. I don't want any of that fill stitching on top of my design. So you would want to actually sit here and take your time with it, because I think that I went a little further away than I wanted to, but I can show you how to fix that here in a minute. Okay, I'm going to go out here. Okay, yep, about there is fine. And then I'm going to move my box over a little bit, and I can see a little bit right here. There we go. Okay, why don't you pull the design up in embroidery and use a flowers? Okay, Marin, this is why I'm not doing that. It's a very good question. If you joined in a little late, let me tell you why we're doing it this way. I had a question earlier this week about, hey, someone gave me some pre-stitched embroidery quilt blocks. How can I put quilting around them without covering up the embroidered part? So basically, someone had some embroidery blocks that were given to her, and they were already done, and she wanted to put quilting around it. So the easiest way is to do this. Now, if you are going to do everything at one shot, that's exactly how you would want to do it. So good question, Marin. I'm sorry, Marin. I'm sorry. I know another Marin, by the way. I love that name. Hey, Hope. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and go a little further out here. There we go. Okay, so see all this space down here? I don't know. Let me darken it up a little bit for you. Can you see down here I have a big wide space? Well, I can actually come back into my fill area, and let me get you a little more centered here. I'm going to come right here, and instead of the bucket, I'm going to tap my paintbrush, and watch what happens. I can come back and add those stitches back around that I erased too much of. Now you would, like I said, take your time and really take your time. This one's probably going to be a little too close for comfort when I go to stitch it out. But I just want y'all to get a really good of an idea of how this is going to work. Otherwise, I think that looks really cool. Okay. Okay, so I am going to zoom back out. And there we go. Well, let's add a little more there, because that's going to drive me crazy if I don't do it. You know how we sewers are. We're a little loony, and we love it. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's zoom out. There we go. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. So all I have to do now is select Next. And then if you're in an Altair or a Meridian, what's going to happen is it's going to not show you the exact size it is until you go to preview. So I'm thinking, let's raise the size up to about 165. And then I'm going to turn the outline off. And then I'll hit Set and Preview. That way we can kind of see what this stitching is going to look like. Look at there. It even brought my picture in. How cool is that? Now all I have to do is put my hoop on, and that actually, I'm really, really super happy with that. And I think while we're on the Solaris, I'll stitch that out. So this is a way, and especially for Diane, this is the way you're going to do that. It's super easy. You're just using your IQ Designer to its full capabilities. So let me grab the hoop since it's already hooped up and ready to go. And let's just see what it looks like when it's stitched out. Can you put your fill in and then scan your design on that? For an embroidery design, you can. If you wanted to bring a design in and put on top of that, you can. But if you already have a pre-made embroidery design, it's already stitched out, it's already done, this is how you'd want to do that. I guess I'd better tell it to go to embroidery. Okay, embroidery, there we go. Now she'll want to work. And then she'll just go to town. And when it's done, we'll come back over here and see what it looks like. So now I'm going to take you over to the Solaris to show you something else that I think is really adorable when we do embroidery. Okay, oh, you caught me. I'm getting ready for Thursday's class, so hope you recognize that cherry. So I'm working on another bowl cozy. Look how cute that is. That design is from Applique Sweets by Hope Yoder, but this fabric, I believe, it's a Moda. It might be Bonnie and Camille. Okay, so while we're doing that, let's see. Rose asks, I have a block already cut to 8x8. Do I need to tape down the raw edges so the needle? Yes, you can do one of two things. You can tape it down. You can use the basting stitch, but you have to go in and kind of do all this stuff to get it to where you want. Or if you want, this was a technique that was taught to me by, and we taught this when I was training with Hope, is we would take a piece of clear topper and lay it down and tape that down on top. But it would go outside. The only thing is when it stitches down, you're going to have to rip all that clear topper out. So it's really up to you. Taping the sides is great. I use the Floriani, I've always called it pink embroidery perfection tape. It's called embroidery perfection, but it's pink. So this stuff is great, so I would. Okay, so Betty asks, why does a design that you have completed with my design center and it's in the frame size says it's okay, then I decide I want to go back and change something. So I went back to the embroidery and I went to the fill from the embroidery section, but it's saying it's too big for the frame. I mean, it may be, it literally may be like a centimeter too big. And if you're going and adding stuff, and it may say, hey, you know, when you're adding stuff with another design, that other design might kick it up a little bit or kick it out a little bit. So you may want to reduce the size of the fill before you move over. One more question. Anna, I have a quilt top with embroidered blocks. How would I mark the size of each blocks and add embroidery to the backgrounds? Thanks again. You don't have to mark the size. You're just going to hoop that, or you're going to basically take a picture of it in the hoop, and then that way you can figure out the size after you scan it in, because you can go in and create shapes around it. Okay, so let me, and I'll show you what I mean on that, Donna. So, okay, so let's go over here since the meridian's being used, and let's answer Donna's question. And I think this is what you're asking. Okay, so if I have, let's say, what I have in the quilt hoop right now. So I am going to come up here and do an image scan. Remember, this doesn't have the app, so we're using the built-in camera. So it's taking a picture of what I've got in here. And this is perfect because I've got an embroidery in there that I would want to stitch around. Okay, so now it's recognizing, so there's my design right there. And what I would do, Donna, is darken it up so you can see your whole block. And if your block is off to the size, what you can do is you're going to have to rehoop the fabric. So you would take and unhoop it and then move the fabric over a little bit so you could get all the corners. And this is what I would do. I would go to my shapes. I would grab, let's say it was a square, because this one's a square. I would grab the square, and there's my square on top. I know it's hard to see because it's red. However, let's lighten it up a little bit so you can see that a little bit better. And what I would do is go to the size button and just start making it larger. Since it's a perfect square and so is my fabric, or at least it should be a perfect square, and then I can move it over till it's perfectly on my square there. And I may have to go in here and kind of scrunch it up a little bit, just depending on if I cut this block, it's going to be cut wrong. It's just part of my lovely nature. Okay, so there's my square. And I'm going to turn this all the way down so you can see it for real. See the square? Now what I would do, because I don't want to stitch out that square, what I need to do is tell it not to stitch that square. I'm just using it as a guideline. So remember our two property boxes. I'm actually going to go to the top one, which is your line property. I'm going to tap the little piece of paper, and then this little guy right here is the no-sew line. So I'm going to tap him, select OK, and then I'm going to select my bucket. And I don't know if you'll be able to hear this, but I want you to listen for something, okay? Okay, first, I'm going to tap the line. Okay? If I tap that line again, you'll hear a, and maybe you could hear that. It's a little knocky knock. That means you've already tapped the line and you have turned that line into a no-sew line. It's just a boundary. So now, let's see. Now, Donna, all I have to do is go to my fills, select a fill. Let's use the bubbles on this one. Use my bucket and tap. And now it's just going to fill in that area that I told it to. So I've done this multiple times with regular quilt blocks. So you're just going to make that shape and then color it in, basically. And then I can go grab my eraser. I'm just going to make my eraser bigger here. And go and erase all around the cherry. I'm doing this one really fast and dirty, so just bear with me here. There we go. And then when I push OK next, I think I missed some, but that's okay. I'm not stitching this out. I'm just going to say OK. And then I can scan again. This one you would have to scan twice. It's okay. It only takes a second. So Rose, your question is, does the Solaris 2 use the phone app? Kinda. It does, but it's a picture. You would have to take a picture of the hoop and then bring it in as a picture. It's not going to use it like this, how it scans for the Altair. Okay, so now if you can see, there's my embroidery design, and then there is my quilting. So I would do my quilting around that. Okay, so let's go home because I want to show you some other fun things that you can do with your fills. Oh, and by the way, look what's done. So notice, I just used that same variegated thread. So notice there is no lines going over my embroidery, my previously made embroidery. So now you can take those quilt blocks or whatever you want, or whatever you want to add something around, and turn those into fills. Really fun. Okay, so let me pull my chair up. And let's talk about just something fun you can do. We had a lot of fun last week playing with fonts, so I thought I would show you some more font fun. But this is going to be a little bit different because we're using the fonts in a different way. And I am going to go turn that light off in the background because that is so annoying to me on the glare. Thanks, Judy. Okay. Now, of course, you can do this on any one of your machines that you have that have IQ Designer built in or My Design Center. So let's go to embroidery. And let's have a little fun here. What I'm going to do is go select a letter. Oh, actually, no. I want to select the bigger letters because in our machine we have regular fonts and then we have the fun fonts, the big fonts. So, okay, let's go to the big fun fonts here. And I'm just going to use, this one right here. And let's say I wanted to do something with these fonts. These are really cute. Oh, look, my background's still on. Let me show you how to turn your background off. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to come up here to settings. Your little piece of paper is your settings. And then, where is my background button? There it is. Yeah, right here. Let's see. Background image, delete. Okay, there we go. There we go. Not there anymore. And I'm actually going to take my, I'm just going to make this a regular screen so we can see it really well. Okay, so let's say I wanted to have a little more fun with these fonts. I could just go and stitch this out, or I can have fun with it. So let me pick an, that E is real pretty. I'm going to pick an E and just bring that in. I'm going to hit set. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my stamping feature for this letter. I'm actually not going to stitch this E out. I'm going to turn it into something different. I'm just going to use the shape of the E. So I want to go to Edit, and I want to go to my stamp key. And there she is. And what you'll notice is that this is going to put an outline all the way around your letter or whatever design you have. So I'm going to just leave it at that. And a lot of times you guys see me move my distance away from these designs, but with these letters, I'm going to leave them as is. So once I am happy with that, I'm going to select Memory. And it's going to tell me something. It's going to say, hey, Anna, you are going to find this particular outline inside of IQ Designer. Find it under the Shapes key. So I'm going to keep that in mind, and I'm going to say OK. And I'm actually going to exit out of here. So I'm going to go home, and I'm going to go to IQ Designer. And I'm going to do two things. I'm just going to have a little fun because I can. I'm Anna. I can do whatever I want. Gosh darn it. I'm going to come to my Shapes key. And the first thing it told me, it says, hey, you're going to find that outline in the Shapes key. So remember the same little shape that I selected earlier? Yep, I'm going to select that flower, and I'm going to select that E. But it's only going to come in as an outline. But let's say I wanted to make it a little more fancy. So I'm going to add a frame around it. So I'm going to come to my shapes, and I can use any shape I want. You have a ton of shapes built into your machine. You have these closed shapes. You have some more closed shapes. You have open shapes that you can play with. So I'm just going to go back to the normal shapes. And I think I'm going to select this pretty little flower here and select OK. Now it's not quite as big as my E. I know it's hard to see the E in the background, but I can see it fine. And I need to make that flower bigger than my E. So I'm going to use my button that has the arrows going out a little bit more. There we go. And I'm going to select OK. Now what I want to do is I want to add fills to both of those. So when they stitch out, they're going to look really super cool. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come in, oops, I apologize guys. I am going to fill in the E. Hey Brenda. I'm going to put a pretty fill inside of the E. So instead of, the first thing that we're not going to do is we're not going to go to our fill, our line properties. We're going to come to our second box, which is our fill properties. And let's go select a fill. And with the Solaris 2, you have 42 of them. But I think I'm going to do, ooh, you know, let's, I kind of like this little feathery one here. And I'm going to leave it at red. And then I'm going to tap on my bucket and then tap inside of the E. Ooh, I like that. Now what I want to do is maybe I want to put some candle wicking on the outside of the E to give it a little bit more fancy. So this is where I'm going to go to my line properties, and I'm going to select candle wicking, and I'm going to select a separate color. And now I want to zoom in because I want to show you what happens. So now what I'm going to do in my line properties, I'm going to select my bucket, and I'm going to tap the outside of the E, and what you may not be able to see is it did turn a dark purple. Okay, let's zoom out and let's add some pretty fill to my flower. I'm going to head back to my fill properties. I'm going to go grab me a pretty fill. Let's kind of make it just a little bit different than the, what should I do? Maybe these little cute leaves, that might be kind of cool. So, but I'm going to change the color, whatever color you want. Make sure your bucket's on and tap here. Ooh, looking kind of interesting. Now I'll change the size of those. Maybe I'll make them bigger here in just a minute. But I also want to change the outside. Maybe I'll just leave it at the candle wicking. So what I'm going to do is I can come back in here and maybe change to a different color and keep the candle wicking on. However, I'm going to select my bucket and tap that line. This next step is where I can change the look of the design. So I'm going to select next, and it's going to show me in real time on the Solaris what it's going to look like. How stinking cute is that? I love it. However, I want my leaves to be bigger. So if it comes in and it's on one little area, just go ahead and toggle through until you get to the area you want, which there's my leaves, and I'm going to make them, let's go about 135, so about 35% larger. And let's see what that looks like. Much better. Now all I would have to do is hit set, okay, and now I could stitch that out. How cute is that? Can I get some likes or thumbs up or hearts for that technique? I like this one. I haven't even played with this part much, doing these, and I think this would be really cute on like a table runner or something. Oh, well, thanks, guys. Ooh, I got a lot of them. Hey. So that's a really fun technique to play with. Now, let's play with some other frames. The frames are fun to play with to me, so I'm just going to back out of here. And actually, let's go to embroidery and let's see what else we can find. Let's go to our frames, because you're going to find some more fun frames in here. Maybe not. I don't know. They're all kind of, they're whatever. So let's go to IQ Designer, and let's go play with our shapes. So I'm going to go to these fun shapes here. And what I'm going to pick is, let's see. I'm going to do one of these flowers on here. Yeah, let's do this one. I may have shown this before, but we've had some new people join the group. So I want to show you what you can do with this. So let's take a look at this design. If you can see, let me grab my little pen here. I'm always running into this, guys. Okay. If you can see here, it actually made me closer, so that's good. Let's zoom in just a little bit. There is a break. So we've got flower petals, a break, flower petals, a break, one flower petal. And then we have the circular center area. So let's take and turn those things into, or those shapes into something fun. So what if I want that center area to be full satin stitch? Super easy. All I have to do is go to my fill properties, And what I'm going to do is leave it on this right here. You're just going to leave this little selection selected. And what that is your satin stitch. The one next to it is your stipple, your fun fills, and your no-sew. So I'm going to select a yellow color and select OK, and then make sure that your bucket is selected and tap directly in the center of that. Let's zoom out a little bit. And now I'm going to put fills in these little areas. So let's see, I'm going to go to my fill properties. I'm going to go to my fun fills. And let's look for a pretty one here. Oops. Let's try these little shells here. These little mermaid scales, and let's do them pink. So I'm going to make sure that my bucket is selected, and I'm going to tap in there, and tap in here, and tap in here. Now, remember at this point, or one thing to remember at this point is, if I take this to our next screen, which I'm going to do, I want you to notice what happens to the outline portion. It automatically turns into a satin stitch. So you see the dark stitch on the outside. That is a preset basically. So what's going to happen is if you don't set it to what you want it to look like, it's going to be a satin stitch. So let's return and let's change that. So I'm going to go up to my line properties. I'm going to tap on my little box. Maybe I just need my finger today. There we go. And I can select whatever I want. I can select a straight stitch, a triple stitch. I can do candle wicking. If you're on the Solaris, you're going to have a few more options. You've even got some more right here. If I tap that and select, you've even got more to play with. But let's just go back to, well, let's just do a triple stitch for the center part. I'm going to select my bucket and I'm going to tap on that line. And if I hear it knock, that means I've already done it. I'm good to go. And then let's change the outline of these guys. Let's go in here and let's just do that candle wicking. Actually, I'm going to do this little chain one. And I'm going to tap. Oh, I didn't even look to make sure that was still selected, but it is good. And I'm going to make sure that all those lines are checked or tapped. So I'm going to go next, and let's take a look and see what happens. Woo! I thought I selected the chain stitch. I guess I didn't tap it well enough. Okay, well let's just leave it on the candle wicking. It's fine. But look at these guys right here. They're all going the same way, which is really cute, but I can change that if I want. Since these are all not connected, I can change each grouping of those little fish scales, I guess we're going to call them. So let's go over here to this area here. And this is going to help me turn the direction around. So let's see what happens if I select 45 degrees. Okay, now they're going that way. Maybe let's go 90 degrees. Not there. So maybe, I am not a math person, guys, so just bear with me. Maybe 180? I don't know. We'll figure it out. Well, that should work. That should be fine. Okay, so I've got some going that way. Now, if I select to move these going anyway, this is a whole piece. So I want to kind of think about what direction I really want them to go. So I'm just going to put it at 60. Why not? That is perfect. That's exactly how I'd want that to look. So maybe this one, and you can see I'm just tapping on it, but it tapped on the candle wicking, so I need to zoom through. There we go. Yes, Ernestine, you can. Let's just put that back at where it was supposed to be, because I think that's about what I was going for there. And turn these going the opposite way. Okay, let's turn these now. I don't know, what did I have it at 60? So let's see what it looks like it is 60. If not, I can change it because I'm in control of my machine. Yeah, I really want it to go maybe 120. All you math people out there are laughing at me going, she don't know her degrees. You're right, I don't. It didn't change too much, so, but let's just say I was happy with that. Now, all I would have to do is now hit set, okay, and then embroider it out. So basically, I took a line drawing of a flower and made it my own. I turned it into an egg-looking flower, because now the yellow center looks like a yolk. But if I loved that, then I would be so happy with that. I think he'd be adorable. So you really have all kind of control over what you can do inside of IQ Designer, or if you have my Design Center. There's so many things you can do. So we went over how to take an existing design, meaning an existing pre-stitched design, and add quilting around it. Ooh, that came out so good, guys. I'm going to have to just do a bunch of those, turn them into a quilt. That would be pretty. Take a letter, a big letter, and add a little bit of flair on that. And then take a shape and add some flair on that. Jeanette, I know. I totally see an egg. Okay. So, let me turn my light back on, turn the camera around so we can talk for a minute about a couple other things. So I've been watching all kind of videos about how to record yourself, and this is supposed to be high, so it won't show my double chin. Oh, wrong one, wrong button. There we go. It's supposed to be above me. Otherwise, I get that. Okay, there we go. So I hope that answered some questions today, or you had a little bit of... The thing is, it looks like I have no hair. Or answered some questions you may have been kind of playing with. So any other questions that you may have right now, go ahead and shoot. But I'm going to do a selfless promo, and if there is still time to sign up for Thursday's class, we will be learning how to make in the hoop bowl cozies, and I am working on samples right now. I'm doing some samples the way some of you have kind of guided me with the all cotton. So it's going really good. I was a little nervous because I've never used, believe it or not, never used all cotton thread to embroider before, and it's working great. So we will have two versions. You can have a decorative version, or you can have a very useful version of it. So I'm getting all that together. Maybe by the end of tonight or tomorrow, I should have the supply list up in the private group for the class. So yeah, Deborah, the class is on this Thursday. It starts at, I think I have it at 11 my time. I'll double check that time for you. I have so many things going on with different times that I can't remember where I am half the time. So we will be making an in the hoop bowl cozy, all using IQ Designer and built-in designs. So, Brenda, really? I can't use, well, I use multiple different cotton threads. Okay, so Brenda, if that happens, I think if I make any, I'm just going to put a note on there. Just don't put it in the microwave. Okay. So, So this is the bowl cozy that I made for myself. I put my last initial in there. I used the quilting techniques, built it all in IQ Designer. So if you would like to take that class, I will be posting the information again after this, and you will shoot me an email. It'll be in that information. And we'll get you signed up. It is $20, and it's fun. So I've had a lot of fun playing with them. You know, the largest hoop for the Altair Meridian will be the 9.5. The largest hoop that we will use for the Solaris is the 10 5/8. So it works great for both of them. So, you know, it's a little size, but hey, it's so cute. I couldn't resist. So don't forget to sign up. Is there a sewing? Is there any sewing for the shape? Yes, you will. We do a little bit of sewing. You still have to do that. So I don't know, like I have a separate machine set off to the side for sewing, or you can, all the embroidery will be done by the time you're sewing. So if you need to switch your machine over, don't worry about that. You don't have to stop in between. We will sew after all the embroidery is done. And it's quick. Super, super quick. Super duper quick. So, yes, you can put all, okay, great, thanks. So let me think. So, okay, I'll double check my, just want to make sure I get all the questions. So yes, Priscilla, it is still open. Okay, well, let's do our giveaway. Yay! So, what do I have? Okay, for all of you guys who posted pictures of what you were making with the technique last week, I put all of your names as of 4:30. I didn't see anybody else post up till 4:30 today, and threw them all in my little thingy here. Got all of it. There's everybody in there. And I will be giving away. First, we'll do the 1 yard of Hope Yoder fabric. This is from Roses and Arrows. Love, this was her first line, and like I've always said, I feel like it's like part of me because I was there when it was being designed. So it's just so special. It's a special line to me. Okay. So first name for this, so remember, if you posted pictures, then it's going up. Ready? So this goes to Brenda. And Brenda, I cannot pronounce your last name, so I'm gonna butcher it here. Blomk. So Brenda, you get the Hope Yoder fabric. Yay! Congratulations. So let me stick that in there so I don't get it confused. Everybody give her a hand or a thumbs up or a heart or something. Congratulations. Yeah, girl, you got this. Now, the second thing is I really need to order one of these. I haven't. We're going to be wearing masks for a long time, I think. And I only know that here in Leon County. They just, or in where I'm at, they just said that recently that they are not going to talk about not wearing masks until after Christmas. So we will be wearing them here for a while. So Hope has made these awesome templates for masks, and there is a pattern and all that goes with it on how to cut the mask. So the next person will be getting a set of these, which is really, really great. I did this last time. I can't get it back in the packaging. Somehow I did. So we'll just lay it right there. Okay. Are we ready? Yeah, Michelle. I think it's going to be, I've heard till 2022. I'm not sure, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows? As long as we stay safe, right? Okay. So here we go. For the mask templates, this is going to go to, make sure I don't have two. Louise. Sakihama, and I probably said that wrong too. Congratulations, congratulations, Louise, congratulations. So Brenda and Louise, I will get those out to you this week. Great job. You don't know how many comments outside of me, like my family who was on the group and my husband, how impressed they were with all of your pillows and your things. They just like, wow, those ladies are awesome. And I'm like, I know, they're amazing. So keep playing with what you learn and post it up. We love seeing that. I absolutely love seeing what you guys do. You guys are so talented. So please just let me know if you have any questions, and yeah, if you have any ideas for classes, or not classes, for Facebook Lives, because it's hard to come up with things all the time. So that's why I love your questions, and then that way I can design my Facebook Live Sunday around it. So yes, congratulations, ladies. All of you are winners in my book. You did a great job. And keep posting them up. If you're going to be working on them, post them up. We'd love to see them. So, with that being said, I hope you guys have another great week. I hope, oh, it's Halloween next Saturday. Yay! I love Halloween. Although we have to do a weird Halloween this year, that's okay. So, I hope you guys have, if you have fun with Halloween, hope you have a fun and safe Halloween. I will see you guys next Sunday, and keep posting up those pictures, girls. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys next week. Shop local, shop small, and I'll see you soon. Bye, guys.